Hello. As we have seen from the previous meeting, I'm from BahiaRT, and I'll be presenting a dynamic defensive system for 3D soccer simulation league. Okay. The motivation for this project was we noticed that our team does not have movements as fast as the other teams, as the teams that are on the top of the league. We do not run as fast, we don't get up as fast, but we run fast enough so we can develop our strategies and compensate our movement, our lack of good movements with strategies. And since we noticed that from the beginning of last year's competition, some teams have started to develop passing systems to give players that are without many opponents nearby the ball, so they can run to the goal and score. We decided that we should create a defensive model to avoid this situation and to mark these players. Improving the previous defense model that we had last year that would only mark the player with the ball. To do that, we divided it into 3 stages, beginning with the risk assessment. We have players that are, the opposing player in red that are with the ball, and the other red player that doesn't own the ball we calculate the risk of that player by its distance from the opponent, distance from the closest ally, distance from the goal, and the number of allies inside the triangle of defense. The triangle of defense is something we implemented last year. That is a triangle between the opposing player, the corner on one side of the set that it's closer to, and the goal on I don't know the name, but the goal in the side of on the opposite side. So we count the number of players, we calculate the distance to the goal, and the distance to the closest ally from our team to that opponent, and with all these 3 parameters, we calculate a certain risk to that opponent. Once we calculate its risk, we need to calculate the availability of our players. We need to know if our player is free to leave its strategic position and move to mark that player. To do that, we check its X position in relation to the ball. So if the player is behind the ball, as we know, we are not fast enough to get the ball with the other team carrying it. We decided that player is not going to try to go to the ball. He's going to try to mark other players so they do not receive the ball. We check if it is inside the triangle of defense of the player with the ball, because players inside the triangle of defense should remain there to mark the player with the ball to avoid him actually scoring. And we check the distance to the opponent with the ball for the same reason as well. Once they have the availability and the risk, we need to assign targets to the high-risk players. We rate all the opposing players according to their risk, and check the closest player with a high enough availability to mark that player. And of course, checking if there is a closer player that can do this task, so we avoid multiple players targeting the same player. And to guarantee that the players inside of the triangle of defense of the player with the ball do not leave that place, allies within that place can only mark players inside the triangle of defense. So I'll do a quick demonstration here with some teams. We're going to run against FreeChallenge. It's a team that we actually know that sometimes we will for sure use this defense system. And in about 30 seconds of drop ball game, it should be able to show plot in RoboVis the execution of this goal. So once the game begins, it doesn't have many players. Sometimes once the opposing player gets the ball, one of the agents, as we can see in the plot, I hope, will start marking the opposing players. See, in this case, it's not the current model, the one that the new defense, but actually the old one that marks the player with the ball. But you can see with the player number 5 is actually marking number 11, and player number 4 is actively marking number 8 to avoid a pass from number 9 to that player. As it moves closer to player number 2, player number 2 will switch with player number 4 because it's now closer to that player. And with that, we have our defense system for this year. Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions?